we're going to specifically talk today about the interview process, because you need to ask the right questions to inform your choice of candidates, and at the same time, avoid even the slightest hint of anything that could be construed as discriminatory. You want to be really consistent in your interview process. So if you have a set of questions that you ask each candidate so that you're treating them all the same. And so here's some of the suggestions of questions that we use. Tell me why you're looking for a new position. So you're looking here for red flags. You know, if they're bad talking their last boss, they'll want that, because if they're going to talk bad about them, they'll talk bad about you too. So try to ask open-ended questions. For example, instead of asking, how many years were you at company XYZ? Tell me about what you did in your position at XYZ. So give them room to be able to say more, not just a yes or no or a specific answer. Ask them, what is your process for how you approach a project? So for example, if you're hiring somebody for social media, what would your process be to post about a house? If you're hiring for a bookkeeper, what is your process for getting books organized and up to date? If you're hiring a mover, what is your process for loading a truck? What safety measures should drivers take? And so you're looking here for someone who gives you a lot of detail in their answers. This is where you really start getting an idea of how qualified they are for a job. Next, we ask, what do you know about home staging and about our company? And they should be able to tell you pretty much any information that you have on your website. Well, I know that you've been in business for 8 years, that you offer staging for both occupied and vacant homes. If they didn't bother to do some research on you and know some things like that from your website, they're probably not very serious about the job. And you want people who are serious about the job. Ask them, why do you want to work here? And again, hopefully they're not just looking for a job, they're looking for something that they can be passionate about. What strengths or skills do you bring? And you might learn that they have some bonus skill like photography or graphic design. Can you tell me about a time when you had a disagreement with someone at work? How did you deal with it? And when one person answered that to me, they told me, well, I just avoided that person. I immediately wrote that person off. That was not who I wanted on my team, because we're looking for team players who will work through conflict rather than avoid it, because conflict is inevitable. It's how you deal with it. Can you deal with conflict? So I want somebody who's going to be able to do that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? If they say some completely different field, this is probably not a great fit for them. And if they answer that their dream is to own their own staging company, you may not want to be the one to train your competition. And then finally, we ask, what questions do you have for me? Because if they don't have any, they haven't really given this job much thought, and it's probably not that important to them. So they're not going to be a great fit. They're not going to stay long. It's not the thing that they're really into.